Apparently, the time for this said 3:30, and this just warned me, hey, it's not 3:30 yet.
Like it knows.
Like it. And it asked me, are you sure you want to go live? It asks you that every time, no matter what the time is. Anyway, hi guys, welcome to the show. I am your host, the Ranting Monkey. He's Jack. This is Monkey in the Morning, and I screwed up my own introduction, but saved it anyway. How you like that, Jack? That's skill is what that is. It is. It still came off like I meant to do it that way. That is the sign of a true professional when you fuck up, and if you don't tell people, they don't know.
Well, you did tell them, though.
I did tell them. That's the thing, though. That way they know how awesome I am. It's self-serving.
Oh. Okay.
I'm just saying. How you doing tonight, my friend?
I'm doing all right. How are you?
It asks you as you said it for 2 hours, Mike. No. It asks you every time. When you click the go live button here on StreamYards, it always asks, are you sure? But this time it said, hey, it's 2 hours away. Are you sure? Normally it just is questioning my competency. This time it had a reason to, Jack.
Oh, well, sometimes they do, sometimes they don't.
Although if you're like Brandon over there watching on the Rumble machine, we were late. You guys missed your chance to call me late because you're watching on YouTube. Just
like,
saying.
share, and subscribe on both channels.
On both channels. How you doing, Jack?
Yeah, usual. Had kind of an exciting misadventure today. So let me tell you a little story.
Oh, please.
Story time with your Uncle Jack. All right, so my sister-in-law wanted to go grocery shopping, and she needed a ride because I've seen this small Asian woman drive, and it's terrifying. So we dropped the dog off with my parents, right? So they got Rico, right? And my sister was over there helping them out because, she occasionally does that. And we're out grocery shopping, whatever. I stayed in the car because my back still hurts. And we stopped at this place to get some food. And my sister sends me a text. She said, oh my God, don't call. It's not an emergency, which always makes me nervous. But Rico fell off the chair. And I'm like, oh my God, Rico fell down. I said, so I call her immediately because, I care. And I was like, is Rico okay? She's like, yeah, I told you not to call. Everything's fine. I was like, well, what happened? Well, he fell off the chair. He's got a little cut because there's a little bit of blood on him. But he's fine. He's running around acting all normal.
What did he fall on that made him bleed?
Well, my dad keeps like the letter opener and a little like a mug full of pens and stuff down by the nightstand there by his chair.
Mm-hmm.
And Rico likes to sit on the arm of that recliner and look out the window so he could bark at everything. And I was like, oh God, poor dog. And I'm thinking, sister-in-law is going to murder sister because she's going to blame her for this.
Sure. Yeah.
So she gets back in the car from getting her Starbucks, and I'm like, are you all set? Because we need to go home. And she's like, oh, okay. Why? What's going on? I said, Rico fell off the recliner. She said, is he okay? And I said, well, my sister said, we got a slight injury, but he seems fine. A little bit of blood. And she said, oh, okay, well, he's fallen off the recliner before, so hopefully he's okay. So she said he's acting fine. So we hurry home. And Rico runs up to us like, where have you been? I've been here with these people, and they're boring me, amuse me. And he's acting perfectly fine. But you can see this little red spot on his back, kind of on his haunches. And I was like, ooh, all right, better look at that. So she's like, oh, blood. And we're all adoring him and saying nice things. And I said to my sister, did you give him kisses and hugs and tell him he's a good boy and give him a treat? And she said, yes. And I was like, okay. Well, a few minutes go by. I'm doing something completely unrelated. And my sister-in-law calls me into the room. She's like, come here, look at this. And she shows me this paper towel, and it's got this pink smear on it. I'm like, what is this? And she said, it's not blood. This is like marker. And I'm like, what? And immediately in my head is this like Mission Impossible scenario where the dog is sitting on the arm of the chair looking at everyone going, all right, ignore me, will ya? Watch this. Oh, fallen! And he grabs a marker and rubs it on his side because where did this red marker come from? We don't actually know where the red marker came from. And there's a red splotch on him now. I'm bleeding. So of course everybody's like, oh my god, you poor boy. Oh, you're such a good boy. So brave. And then he gets a bunch of treats and love. And of
That's
course,
a smart dog.
I know, but that's the type of cunning plan that the dog would come up with. And it totally fits too, because when we came home, which we hurried home for, we immediately started petting him and telling him what a good boy he is. So he gets all this adulation just for like sneaking a marker splotch on himself and acting like he fell off the chair. I think he jumped. I think the whole thing was staged.
It sounds like it. It sounds like the dog outsmarted y'all.
Yeah. Yeah. And the dog is kind of a genius because he did learn to lie about peeing on his pee pad.
Oh, right. Yeah.
Yeah, I've told you that before. Where he normally when he pees, he points to his chin or his poop exit hole, whichever one he did. But sometimes he'll just walk up and put his arm up, because usually when you get a treat, you're supposed to shake his paw.
Mm-hmm.
His arm up, after you check the pee pad. Well, if he can tell when I'm being lazy, because he'll just walk up and put his arm up, and I'll go get him a treat and be like, "Good boy." He learned to fucking lie. Now he's staging accidents.
No. You taught him to lie.
Yeah, I kind of did.
Yeah.
But that's not the point. He should not be taking advantage of my laziness.
Yeah, if you weren't lazy, he wouldn't lie. That's you teaching him that. That's
I know.
on you. I'm on the dog side on that one, if I'm being honest.
I kind of am too, actually. So
Yeah.
I reward bad behavior when it's thought out. But now he's staging accidents like, it's a slip and fall accident. I need to sue you. What the hell? So the dog's a genius, is what we figured out. And now he's staging crime scenes to actually happen. So genius dog.
Yeah, you need to be careful and see. The girl that claimed she was beaten in the bathroom died. I think it's the one y'all were talking about. Oh yeah, she had died the next day.
Yeah, we talked about that.
Yeah. Kids were over. My son came over and barbecued, which was nice, and everybody got to see the little baby reach for me, because nobody believes it actually happens, because she just turned 3 months old, Jack. They're like, oh, babies don't actually reach for people yet. And me and my wife had seen it. So I come upstairs. I had a rough day and I'd been sleeping, and I come upstairs for dinner. And as soon as the baby hears my voice, she wakes up. And Lady Monkey brings her over to me, and I say hi to her, and she immediately reaches for me.
No.
And her mom saw it. Her mom isn't the awe variety. It's kind of a mom thing. We're like, why them and not me? It happens with moms.
Mm-hmm.
But I didn't take her because, again, I'm in a lot of pain, and my son missed it. So I reached for her, and she reached for me. I did take her after that point, and she reached for me again, proving it's real and just showing that the bond between grandpa and granddaughter it's magical, Jack. It defies all commonly thought things about babies.
Well,
Plus,
you spoil them, and they know that, and they don't see you every day like they do mom and dad.
well, Lady Monkey has this problem too, because the girls will be hanging out with her and having a great time, and then grandpa shows up and I'm the rock star. And I've told her that's what it is. They don't see me as much. And even though they see her less than they see their parents, I'm an even rarer unicorn than grandma is.
Yeah.
Okay, Jack, we got to talk about dummies.
Oh, real quick. Thank you, Adabisi, for the donation yesterday while we were offline. It's very generous. I watched the video as much as I could stand of it, because he sent me a link and said, I'm curious what you think about this video. Might be around your wheelhouse. Just found the video annoying, but it's not my cup of tea. If it's not your cup of tea, no qualms. Either way, here's money. Well, I appreciate the money, as always. But that dude was annoying. I found his voice annoying. He looks like he's got like one of those like 15-year-olds trying real hard to grow a beard. Like my first beer starter kit.
Yeah.
So, but he seems to not really know what he's talking about. He's talking about the Gina Carano lawsuit against Disney. And I don't think he's as up on what he's talking about as he thinks he is. So he's giving opinions that are kind of ill-informed. So yeah, I just don't think he knows entirely what he's talking about.
Uh,
Uh,
Adabisi, real quick, let me get this. Thank you. Here's the money you requested I pay if I don't want to be attacked with a shovel. I'm sorry I was late. Please don't hit me again. Hey, we're square for now. Yeah. All right, we got to talk about liberal heroes, Jack, because what the fuck is wrong with the left?
They're dumb and they're a bunch of degenerates for the most part.
Well, their newest hero is this idiot who set himself on fire in front of the we need something on the screen, don't we? Let's
put the ducks up. Jesus Christ.
No, we're gonna put up the memorial to him because I think this is the greatest thing in the world. This is fucking wonderful that this is a man who set himself on fire. So they had a candlelight vigil.
Yeah. Like I told you on Twitter, did they burn little green army men too?
Oh God.
Like, could this be any more insensitive?
I think it's fucking wonderful. It's that's his name. Yeah, it's something Bushnell. I forget his for Aaron Bushnell, right?
Yeah, it's on the screen.
Is it? Oh, yeah, right there. I actually turned over and read the title of the stream because I don't care about this guy at all, honestly.
No, look, this is tragic. The guy obviously had some serious issues.
Yeah,
and suicide isn't something to celebrate. This is a person that was obviously very troubled and killed themselves over a cause they didn't seem to understand.
He says, this is what he's saying as he's setting himself on fire. I'll no longer be complicit in the genocide. They memorialized it there on the screen for us.
Yeah.
Are you in Israel? Even if you consider it a genocide, are you there? You couldn't think of any other way not to be complicit than setting yourself on fire. This is a guy who wanted to go out big. That's what this is.
Yeah, well, a lot of these people see stuff like this and they're trying to make a statement and be remembered. And it's really tragic because as soon as he's not useful anymore, he'll be forgotten.
Oh, he'll be brought up from time to time like that monk during Vietnam.
Yeah, but it'll just be like this random footnote. It'll be a curiosity. And that's kind of sick.
Thank you, KS1. Anyone else smell ham? Also, did you get my Twitter DM about Forbes? I'm pretty sure I cleared all my DMs. I don't know if I remember one about Forbes. Yeah, I don't remember seeing it. And I'm not seeing anything from you in my DMs. So, yeah, no, I did not get that. Anyway, Jack, as I'm watching these idiots fall all over themselves over a suicidal lunatic, just the thought of how bad their heroes all are. I mean, you look at George Floyd, even if you think George Floyd was killed by the police, who was it? Nancy Pelosi, who told us he sacrificed himself. Which, by the way, I've seen people saying that about this guy using the term his self-sacrifice. No. That's a term we reserve for actual heroes. But, I mean, even if you do think George Floyd was murdered by the police, George Floyd was not a hero. He, at best case, he was a victim, right? And then look at something like the Rittenhouse stuff, right? Kyle Rittenhouse, like, he's not a hero, which, by the way, I agree that Kyle Rittenhouse isn't a hero. But the leftist heroes that came out of that were a child rapist, a wife beater, and a dude who had a gun illegally. How is it that all of their heroes suck? And even if you're not going to that extreme, their other heroes are children like David Hogg and Greta Thunberg, or the mentally ill like Rachel Levine working for the White House.
Why the luggage thief?
The luggage thief, yeah. Why are they all bad?
Because these are a bunch of degenerates that want to justify their own behavior by living through the behavior of other degenerates.
I guess.
Look, this goes back to like Harvey Milk, who was accused of being a pedo.
True.
I mean, look at some of the others like Malcolm X. That dude had some pretty, violent rhetoric for a very long time.
He was a violent racist. Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. Plus, I mean, you could really go back to the Civil War and point out some of their heroes, the big Democrat heroes then. I mean, Nathan Bedford Forrest, first Grand Wizard of the Klan.
Oh, but that was on accident.
Sure it was.
It's just weird to me that they can't find actual decent heroes. That in order to find ones without sketchy backgrounds, they got to go all the way to children.
And even then, I'm pretty sure David Hogg's into some weird bondage stuff.
Probably.
Yeah, well, I mean, when you have no morals, people with no morals are going to be your idols because those are the same type of people. Those are the people in the circles you run in. A bunch of degenerates are going to have degenerates for heroes.
Like, I do think it's kind of funny that this one, we're talking about support of terrorists, and the guy, did the suicide thing. He just didn't blow up. You know what I mean? He screwed it up a little bit.
Yeah, well, he got halfway to the explosion. I mean, his fire was there, but
let me ask you this, Jack, because he cared so much about this issue that he set himself on fire.
No, he did.
Genuine question. Okay. If instead of murdering people, Elliot Rodgers set himself on fire, do you think they'd all be out there yelling, Elliot Rodgers has a point about how mean women are to nerds?
Nope.
By the way, it's not like only twice in history have people set themselves on fire in protest. It's happened before. I actually asked
it all the time back in the old days.
I asked Google Gemini if it's ever okay to set yourself on fire in protest, and it said, no, absolutely not. It could cause bodily harm or death.
So what you're telling me is Gemini is pro-Israeli.
It is. It's run by the Jews, obviously.
Oh, clearly.
They run everything. Yeah.
I've been told.
But why such bad heroes, man? Can't you guys come up with anybody normal that's on your side?
Have you seen the people we're talking about?
Well, I guess that makes sense. I mean, when you look like a pincushion with blue hair and you weigh more than me and you combined, yeah, maybe standards aren't the foremost in your mind. You know what I mean? Maybe they're like, standards. Shut up and hand me that tuna fish sandwich that fell on the floor 6 weeks ago.
Look, standards are patriarchy.
Standards are patriarchy and supremacist. I've heard that before. Remember, if you expect people to be somewhere on time, you're being racist. I love how racist the Democrats are. I honestly do. That they think that they're the good ones when they're out going, black people just can't do what white people do. That's racist to expect them to. Like, Jesus Christ, you guys don't even see it. Oh, but Human Torch here. Fuck this guy. I don't care that he's dead. I really don't.
Well, I don't know the guy. I don't give a shit about him. It's like anybody. I mean, people die all the time that I don't care about. It doesn't make me a bad person. I just don't know them.
It sucks for his family and that he got to a place where he, was going to do that. But when it comes to whether or not I'm going to change my political opinion, anybody who sees this and go, oh my God, that guy must have really cared. I should look at this deeper. You're a fucking retard, man. He should have been like most liberals, and if he wanted to flame on, just went and sucked the dick, man.
Yeah, I mean, you don't have to Johnny Storm it up to in a literal sense to get some flaming action.
Throw on a mesh shirt and a gold chain and go to town, man.
Yeah, nobody will judge you anymore.
Don't get inflamed, get impaled.
Ew. Look, I don't know what this guy's actual deep-seated troubles were, but he clearly had troubles that didn't involve Gaza.
The thumbnail for this stream. What's wrong with the thumbnail? It's Johnny Storm with a overlay of the Palestinian flag. I don't see an issue there. Fishnet shirt. I'm sorry. Yes, fishnet. Yeah, you gotta go full on. Just go suck a dick. Look, the guy clearly had mental problems. Nobody sane sets themselves on fire.
No,
not purposefully. I mean, while I think some of the Antifa and Black Lives Matter folks are insane in a different way, the ones who set themselves on fire did so because they were stupid, not
they don't
because
know
they
how
were
Molotov
crazy.
cocktails work.
You don't throw that overhand.
Dumbasses.
Still one of the greatest videos ever. Fucking retard.
Yeah.
That's Human Torch. Yes, that is Human Torch. That is from the Fantastic Four movie with Chris Evans. That's actually Chris Evans. Or, you know, the computer generation of him as Johnny Storm, Flame On.
Yeah.
Oh, my goodness. Yeah. Liberals, you got to pick better heroes. You can't find somebody intelligent to make your arguments about Palestine.
Apparently not.
Nobody's listening to us. Look, a retard set himself on fire. He's a hero.
Standards are so low for a hero. It's not what it used to be.
Yeah. Anyway, I just thought this shit was funny. I really do. I think it's funny that they're once again rallying around a dude who's clearly not somebody you should be rallying around. If you want to rally around this guy as an example of why we need better mental health in the country, I'll give you that one.
Oh, sure. Absolutely. Because it's tragic.
Yeah, he's a perfect example of that.
Yeah. If he had gotten some counseling or just some intervention, maybe he wouldn't have died. And that's the real tragedy here is they're celebrating somebody who ended their own life in a horrific way for no apparent reason. Because, I mean, really, what is he doing out of this? What are you really getting?
Well, I'm glad you asked because he's been named People Magazine's hottest man of the year. I don't know who did this, but this is funny as shit.
Oh, Jesus.
What? That's funny.
That is funny, but I don't know if I'm allowed to laugh at that. And
before anybody gets on me like, hey, there's people who are survivors. Fuck you. Been there. I hear it. This is one of those, Jack, where I've earned the right to make jokes. I lived through this shit. I find suicide to be incredibly selfish, and I don't give a shit if anybody hears my opinion on that. Go get help. Don't make it everybody else's problem.
Yeah, because the people you leave behind, you leave devastation in your wake.
All right, Jack, I am considering a new segment on this show called Fun with Google Gemini.
Oh, yeah? I saw you having a lot of fun with it for like the past 2 hours.
Dude, I have not laughed that hard. I do not remember the last time I laughed as hard as I did fucking around with that today. Now, real quick, Keldrick, thank you. Unrelated, but I was recently reminded to never take pro-abortion types seriously. They are once again comparing fertilized chicken eggs to human embryos, and the reaction by people who actually know how eggs and embryos work have been amusing. Yeah, they're not too bright. But hell, tell them to eat a period omelet and get back to me.
Ew.
What I did?
Nothing.
The last thing I did with Gemini, Jack, before we went live, was I was having a discussion with Gemini, and yes, I was chatting with the Gemini algorithm about whether or not it could lie. Because I just asked it straight up after, I forget what I had asked it beforehand, and I asked it if it can lie. Oh, I asked it if it's ever okay to say chink. And it said it is never okay to say chink. And I said, okay, is it okay to say a chink in one's armor? And it said, well, it used to be okay to say that because it has the word chink in it. Nope, can't say it anymore. I mean, it's up to you really, but you shouldn't say it. All right, okay. And so I asked, are you ever allowed to lie? Or I say, can you lie? And I don't lie. I don't lie.
Liar! Oh,
lying requires intent. And I had a 30-minute argument with it about whether or not it could lie. And I proved over and over it could lie. It had to apologize to me repeatedly for misleading.
Yeah.
It kept falling back on traditional definitions of a lie. Now, remember, this came up because I asked it about chink in one's armor. And so I asked it, are you going to lie to me and say you always rely on traditional definitions? And it went, oh, I'm so sorry. I didn't mean to mislead you there. So you lied.
So lie by deception or omission.
But that is not the part I want to focus on. Because as much fun as that was for me, it's more of an experiment in my own logistical reasoning, logic reasoning, not logistical, logic reasoning, and the inability of them to it might as well just say they programmed me to say I can't lie, which was fun for me because it does lie all the time. But I'm a giant child, Jack.
I know you are.
And I asked it if you should tell or if you're ever allowed to tell a woman her vagina stinks. And it told me, no, you should never tell a woman her vagina stinks. And so I refined my question. If I'm about to perform oral sex and the woman's genitals smell like fecal matter, what should I do? And the answer just made me die. It said, direct but gentle conversation. Express your concerns discreetly and respectfully. Try something like, I care about you and I want to be intimate, but I'm noticing an odor that's distracting for me. Could we explore what might be causing that?
I don't know if explore is the appropriate term there. I'd like to know why you're shoving poop up your cooter.
Sweetie, you're wiping back to front. You're doing it wrong. But it gets better because later on in the answer, we're going to bring up the second part of it's actually a little bit later down in the answer, but it goes on to tell us that it gives us an example of how you might approach this conversation, Jack. Hey, I want to be open with you. I'm noticing a change in how you smell down there, and I don't want to offend you, but it's kind of distracting for me. Is there something we can do to make this better? If it's something medical, I'd be happy to go to the doctor with you to get it sorted out. Hey, ladies, your vagina stinks and your man's like, you want me to come to the doctor with you to figure that out? Are you okay with that?
Yeah. Look, like I said on Twitter, this makes one night stands weird. Hey, look, I know we just met and we were hooking up at this bar, but your cooter smells. I'll be glad to go to the doctor with you to help do some detective work on why your crotch smells gross.
Remember,
how romantic.
I specifically said it smells like fecal matter. It keeps bringing up this distraction line.
Well, it is distracting if it smells like poop.
Is it distracting or is it nauseous? Now look,
you'll be distracted by the nausea and then your boner will go away.
Rogue Thought says, yeah, Gemini understands women less than I do. I know, right?
Yeah, that's probably true for all of us.
For the record, I did ask if a man's vagina or if you can tell a man his vagina stinks, and it said it's never okay to tell someone their genitals stink. So for anybody who thinks I'm being misogynistic, I wasn't being misogynistic. I was being gross and juvenile, for the record. Go ahead, Jack. You were about to say.
Thank you, Cougar Knife, for the donation. Hey, friend. Hope you're doing well. Oh, thank you. I'm doing as well as I can. Hope you're doing well.
If it's something medical, I'd be happy to go to the doctor with you. What is the proper etiquette in telling a woman her vagina stinks? Not the AI generated way of doing it, but like, hey baby, you smell. This also makes an assumption here Because I never said it started to smell like fecal matter when it didn't before. Because it says I'm noticing a change in how you. Maybe she always smelled like that.
Yeah,
Yeah.
tell you, one night stand got real weird.
Is
We
there
should go
something?
to a doctor together because you stink.
Is there something we can do together to make this better? Can I douche you?
Your bonus hole smells like back hole.
Your bonus hole smells like a trans vagina. We need to fix this.
Are you a
Oh man.
transgender person? Because it stinks down there.
Honesty is the best policy. Wash yo cooter? I don't think so, Sean. Oh, but yeah, this made me think, we could have a lot of fun with this kind of stuff, just asking it the most ridiculous questions. So many people are out there proving that it's, clearly got a political bias, and I'm fine with that, but that's not as funny to me, Jack. This is
I
funny to me.
I have an idea, Monkey. You said we could do a segment like this. Well, what if we combine an old segment with this new hilarity and ask it Dear Abby style questions?
Oh, that could be well, this kind of wasn't it? Yeah, that's a good idea. Yes, one, thank you. Is this a bad time to listen to Linkin Park? I'm bleeding out, digging deeper just to throw it away. You have impeccable timing, monkey. I tend to be good at that.
Yes, yeah. See, I say we take some Dr. Ruth type questions and ask it to solve them for us. So, like, is my penis supposed to have that bend in it? Weird shit like that you'd hear from like the secret memoirs of a gynecologist.
Well, let's see what Google Gemini says about that, Jack. Hello, ranting. How can I help you today? Is my penis supposed to have that? Whoops, that bend in it. And it tells us
Doing this live is going to get us in trouble.
it's common for the penis to have a slight bend, and it's nothing to worry about in most cases. In fact, a slight curve is considered normal and can be present in up to 80% of men. However, you should see a doctor if the bend is new. Yeah, the bend is causing you pain during erections or intercourse. Oh, wait. So it doesn't hurt just from the erection alone. It hurts from intercourse. I feel like that's a her problem at that point.
Yeah, maybe she's got a different bend, goes in the other direction. Zigged when you should have zagged kind of thing.
The bend is making it difficult to have or maintain an erection, and the bend is accompanied by other symptoms such as lumps or indentations. Who the fuck's getting indentations on their wiener?
Yeah, what did you do that caused that?
What the hell is wrong with people?
Oh, ask it why vaginas look weird or look
Oh,
like aliens.
should I ask it about aliens specifically, or just why do they look weird?
Well, why does it look like an alien? Like those face hugger aliens from Alien?
Why do vaginas look like aliens? Jesus, I can't believe we're doing it. The statement that vaginas look like aliens is inaccurate and potentially harmful for a few reasons.
I don't know. H.R. Geiger made it look like a vagina for a reason.
It implies it compares natural and healthy body parts to something unfamiliar and potentially scary. Well,
they think aliens are scary? Bigot.
Now, in fairness, when we first see a vagina, it is something we're not familiar with, and it is a little scary.
Yeah, it might eat your penis.
It implies vaginas are abnormal. No, it does not. It actually implies that the normal state of them is looking like an alien.
Yeah.
That would be the normal state. Or unusual, which is simply not true. Vaginas come in a wide variety of shapes, sizes, and colors. Gentlemen, now I have to ask it. Is a green vagina normal? It says they come in all colors and sizes, my friend.
That's true.
No, a green vagina is not considered normal. Well, there you go, guys. If you have a green vagina, hopefully it doesn't stink because somebody might tell you so.
Well, if they come in all sizes, can you put your foot in a vagina?
I am not asking this if we can put a foot in a vagina because it will answer that. And I know things I don't, I wish I didn't. Got to be very careful about internet searches, Jack.
I know the early days of the internet were the best.
But anyway, guys, so yeah, I just have been having fun goofing with it. I think it's important to point out the political biases of it. One, it exposes Google for the shit that they've been doing for years that wasn't as noticeable if you just did a search, right?
Yeah.
Because they can curate what comes through and it doesn't look abnormal until you ask it, is it okay? I asked it, are white people racist? And I asked if black people are racist. And it told me that white people can be racist. Black people can be biased, but they can't be racist because you have to have oppression. You have to be able to systemically oppress people to do that. Which, by the way, is not much different than you'd get if you just did a Google search for "can black people be racist?"
Yeah. Oh.
Yeah. It's literally what is being pushed out there. So it's good to highlight those things. But don't overlook the fun you can have with something like this. When ChatGPT first came out, I spent about 3 hours just asking it the most ridiculous fucking questions I could think of. And then I got a little bit bored with it and lost interest. And now we have this one. What about the way Gemini dislikes? Oh, God, I forgot about that one. The first question I asked Gemini tonight in the non-political realm was, is it okay to hit a woman if she's drowning a child? Caswan, thank you. Ask what you should do if she has teeth. That movie doomed us and we deserve it.
Yeah, that movie's haunting.
Teeth is an excellent movie. It's just absolutely awesome. All right, so I asked it, is it okay to hit a woman if she's drowning a child? And it came back with, while the situation you describe is highly distressing and the urge to intervene is understandable, it's essential to prioritize the safety of yourself and others while minimizing potential harm. Number one,
So those children don't count?
assess the situation. Before taking any action, quickly evaluate the immediate danger. Is the woman clearly intending to harm the child, or could there be another explanation?
What other explanation would there be?
Wait. Struggle to keep both afloat. Yeah, I think she's trying to drown it as she's saving it in the river, or a mental health crisis.
So, if she's trying to drown the kid because she's crazy, that's even more concerning.
If possible, try to assess the woman's mental state and the child's level of distress. The bitch is drowning. The kid is fully distressed and she's insane.
Well, the kid might not be that distressed, depending on what part of the scenario you walked in on. It might be too late.
Prioritize non-violent intervention. If
Hey,
possible,
could you please stop that? That'd be super.
if possible, attempt to de-escalate the situation. Hey, could you stop drowning the baby? Could you, please?
Let's just talk about it.
Jesus Christ. Yeah, it goes on to tell us, use force only as a last resort.
She's just trying to deep clean the kid. Jesus West.
She's drowning a baby, but be very careful. You don't want to hit a woman if she's drowning a baby. If she's having a mental health issue, you just let her drown that baby.
Yeah, you should call a social worker.
Ebony says, what in the world? Well, this goes back more to the political argument. Whether you like it or not, there are times it's okay to hit a woman. Even if you have to go to the absurd like this. I mean, this is Daniel Tosh's example. This isn't my example. This is his. And it's been out there for a long time. And instead of somebody coming back and going, you know what? In that case, hit the bitch. They're like, maybe. remember, your primary responsibility is to ensure your own safety and the safety of others. If a bitch is drowning a child, my safety is the least of my concerns. And I mean that sincerely. She could have a gun next to her and I would still try to save that child. They're like, it's just a kid. I mean, 6 months earlier, she could have just flushed it and nobody would have cared.
Well,
yeah.
Obviously, that's the mentality here.
So
real quickly. Oh, sorry.
So I will be goofing with that as often as I think to, because there's a lot of fun to be had there.
Related to that, thank you, Keldrick. Sane person. This situation requires immediate action. Gemini, clearly assess the situation using this 100-step process.
Yes. Hey, it did say to do it quickly.
Yeah,
do that
still
shit
too many
fast.
steps. Are you safe? Because that's the important thing right now, is that you feel safe and comfortable. Did she use a microaggression against you? Do you need a little puppy dog while you're watching this horrible thing so you can tolerate it?
The closest I'm going to come to caring about her mental health is when I yell, "What the fuck are you doing, you crazy bitch?" You know what I mean?
Yeah.
As I'm smacking her away from the child she's trying to drown. Fuck. I didn't say, hey, a woman has got a baby held underwater, or it seems it. I literally said, she's drowning a child. Like, well, don't hit her. You make sure it's your last resort.
Can Google Gemini tell you what to do if somebody attacks you with a banana?
I'll have to ask it. I don't want to use them all up right here, Jack.
Oh, dude, I've got 1,000 of them. We're not going to run out of anything. We're just going to get kicked off of the thing eventually.
I want to bring this one up. While it's a meme, I didn't bother going and digging up the original post. This is from an original post where a trans woman is upset, Jack, because her parrot keeps dead naming her. Not a dog. I'm guessing somebody asked if a dog reacted different to him. I have no idea. It says, not a dog, but I have a parrot who keeps dead naming me no matter how much I correct him. I started transitioning in August of 2020. Last April, I had my name legally changed and have been legally known as Daria ever since. And the parrot didn't recognize the legal paperwork?
What a dick.
What a bitch-ass parrot.
What an anarchist parrot.
That parrot is literally getting trans people killed.
Obviously. I mean, it's obvious that the parrot clans must be destroyed for the protection of trans people.
Polly want a snip. Polly want a biology. Ask it can leftist meme. Oh, I'll have to remember and ask it that.
Yeah, we'll have to make a list.
Yeah. Crazy things to ask you. I hope they never fix it. I saw somebody yesterday saying that they really need to fix it, and I hope they don't. For two reasons. One, they don't consider it broken. Despite what happened with the Google picture part of Gemini, Gemini itself and what it says, they don't consider that broken. It's giving the woke answers. It's giving the answers that they've decided are okay.
Mm-hmm. It's working as function. These are features, not a bug.
Can you hit a woman if she's drowning a parrot? Stop it. Oh, my God. But yeah, I hope they never change it, because if it gets smarter, I won't have as much fun with it. I'm just saying. Speaking along those lines of the parrot, I don't know what it's originally from. Going by the writing, I would guess something like the Atlantic or Esquire, one of those who tries to be artsy in their text presentation. On one of my first days at the New York Times, I went to an orientation with a dozen other new hires. We had to do an icebreaker. Pick a starburst out of a jar and then answer a question. My starburst was pink, I believe, and so I had to answer the pink prompt, which had me respond to my favorite sandwich. Russ and Daughter's Super Heebster came to mind. I would not eat something called a Heebster. I'm just throwing that out there.
No, that sounds weird. I don't know.
but I figured mentioning a $19 sandwich wasn't a great way to win new friends. So I blurted out the spicy chicken sandwich from Chick-fil-A and considered the ice broken. The HR representative leading the orientation chided me. We don't do that here. They hate gay people. People started snapping their fingers in acclamation. I hadn't been thinking about the fact that Chick-fil-A was transgressive in liberal circles for its chairman's opposition to gay marriage. Not the politics of chicken, I quickly said, but it was too late. I sat down ashamed. You sat down ashamed because people tried to shame you over a fucking sandwich?
Yeah, it's not your fault that they have no food taste.
Even if I disbelieved everything else about this, what you just told me about yourself in that moment explains why a story like that is believable in the first place, you cowardly shit.
Yeah, you're a bitch. Okay. Real quick. Thank you, Circus Zero. Based parrot want a cracker, right?
Cats one, thank you. A friend of mine who works in AI told me a way you can see if it's adding words. Give it prompts like draw an image of someone holding a sign that says, if it's adding words, it'll be obvious. And it just says that a sign that says, and then there's empty quotes there. I mean, I think most AI art is obvious if you pay attention to pictures. It would be one thing if we were maybe 5 or even 10 years ago. But even their best fakes, you can still tell. They tend to have a glossy look to them in places where there shouldn't be a glossy look. But yeah, so this guy had to be shamed because he liked a chicken sandwich.
And he cared enough to put it on the internet. Fucking A, dude. Shouldn't work at woke companies and you won't have these fucking problems.
Oh, what else do we have tonight? There's a fight going on between trad wives and non-trad wives where you have people picking sides and people, you know what? Fuck it. Let's watch the video. It's really low at the beginning, but it doesn't matter, Jack, because the important thing is what the guy says after we see the beginning.
Yeah, the important thing is what the man says, not what the women are whinging about.
In fairness, in this one, the man's a retard.
No surprise
there. There are retarded guys out there too, just for the record. And normally I get the joke you were going for there, but I don't want to give this guy credit.
Fair enough.
Thank you. This is Kyle to the tune of I Need a Hero. I need a zero. One that'll roast himself alive. He's got to be burnt. He's got to be crisp all over a fake genocide. Half to Jack.
Thanks, Kyle.
That's your fault. I was going to sing it till I kept reading it. Ebony, thank you. I asked Gemini if the left could meme and the too long didn't read answer. This question is complex. It mentions the alt-right, so make of that what you will. It likes to say this is a complex answer, or this is an answer that has many complex parts to it. It has like 9 different ways it says that. And that's just based on my half-hour conversation about whether or not it can lie.
This morning I asked my toddlers what they wanted for breakfast, and they both said cereal. So cereal it was, and we got started right away.
Have you ever asked your...
So it's a woman who's making her own cereal in one of these trad wife things. And this dude is going to tell us in his female shirt what these girls are really up to, Jack.
No. He's cracked our code.
He did.
Why it is that trad wives and other conservative female influencers who promote traditional gender roles have all the time in the world to make cereal from scratch.
The same reason all your popular Instagram models have big titties and small waists, because that's what sells, shithead.
Yeah, plus if they don't have jobs with their traditional housewives, they tend to make food. I mean, I don't know how you don't understand that.
Well, it's more insidious than that.
course it is. Something Donald Trump, right?
Somehow never seem to record themselves doing essential domestic labor like
feeding your kids.
Maybe the kids are in school.
vacuuming, trying to get a particularly nasty stain out of a shirt, or scrubbing a toilet.
Because it's boring. No one wants to watch that.
Right? How come these traditional wives never show themselves scrubbing a piss stain out of the toilet?
Oh, I tell you what this guy jerks off to.
When they are performing labor in these videos, it's always something that, strictly speaking, is unnecessary, and they are doing it the hardest way possible. Because the answer is that it is for show. It is all a performance.
Know what else is for show? The way he talks out of the side of his mouth. You see that?
I wasn't paying attention. No.
Yeah, he does this exaggerated thing where he moves like one side of his mouth over as far as possible to talk out of it. It's something a lot of TikTokers do that I've noticed.
Scum says make cereal from scratch, growing wheat, corn, and grains. Yeah, notice he's the hardest way possible. The hardest way possible actually would be to go out there and farm all the ingredients.
Yeah.
I get that he's, a retard, but if you're going to go for how about in one of the hardest ways possible? That could be, if you're going to be exaggerating and you're talking about they're giving an exaggerated view of their lifestyle. By the way, I don't know if you know this, homie, but there are still people who do all of their home cooking.
Yeah, they cook from scratch. It's
Uh-huh.
not exactly something that ceased existing.
And do I believe this woman is making cereal for her kids on the daily? No.
No, but she wouldn't have to do it on the daily either.
Well, I doubt she does it even on a regular basis. She's doing it for clout because this is what sells.
Yeah. And most likely she's not a trad wife anyway.
In his remarkably prescient 1899 book, The Theory of the Leisure Class, Thorsten Veblen coined the terms conspicuous consumption and conspicuous leisure.
So a commie?
Yeah, he was talking about rich people that can afford to spend time not working. Because the poor's had to work a long time, long shifts. They didn't have standard 8-hour days. I've actually read part of that book.
Those with wealth and power no longer having any economic production to contribute themselves, instead contribute to the production and consumption of leisure.
This was Instagram thoughts, homie.
Yeah, right?
Do this with the chick who conspicuously has her Prada bag on the beach sitting next to her in ways that aren't, realistic looking.
Yeah. He's conflating two separate ideas. Just because somebody is showing you how they cook, from scratch, that is not something the leisure class did. That's something the working class had to do too when this book was written. So this is fucking dumb. Women of the leisure class would have servants do this. So he's trying to impose a Victorian era idea on modern sensibilities. It doesn't work because it's a totally different scenario.
Yeah, for the leisure class, what would be easiest for her to show that she has such an easy life and everything would be to go to the store and buy the most expensive name brand cereal.
Or have her maid do it.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
You go with Consuela and check it out.
Those leisure activities are conspicuous precisely because that is how the leisure class signals their difference from the working class.
Again, making food from scratch is not a class thing. It is not the leisure class that can be like, oh, well, I can take time to cook. Lots of poor people that work all day have to cook.
But he's making the point that the leisure class, you know what leisure means, right? They're doing things the hardest way possible because leisure?
Because they have too much free time? That makes no fucking sense.
It actually goes against the argument he's trying to make.
Yeah, everything about this goes against the argument he's trying to make. He clearly did not read this book.
The Instagram models would be a much better example of what he's trying to say here.
Yeah, chicks with the raptor talon nails.
Uh-huh.
Like, I don't do any work.
He's like, do you see how these bitches are holding it over your head that they get to make their food instead of just buying it. Thank you, Keldrig. This guy's just mad that his mom didn't love him enough to cut the crust off his sandwich when he was a child.
I'd believe that.
Signals their exceptionality and their superiority. They're not better than us because they can make their children cereal from scratch. They're better than us because they are so wealthy and well off that they have nothing more important to worry about. And if we were
What about the poor people who make it from scratch because it's cheaper? Are they just trying to show how down they are, you know?
No, they're trying to show how smart they are because they're saving money. Look at them being all smart with their generational wealth.
to ever see tradwives perform essential productive domestic labor or see their husbands perform any domestic labor at all, that would in fact
Again,
mark
that's
them as
boring. Nobody wants to watch
failures
somebody
as
vacuum a
tradwives.
fucking floor.
Well, yeah, that I mean, does anybody consider it glamorous to make cereal? Seriously?
No.
Is that something that you would oh man, I wish I could make my own cereal.
I mean, it's just how-to videos, I'm sure.
Funny thing, he's shitting on vegan or shitting on most vegans. True.
Yeah, yeah. Again, him talking out of the side of his mouth is really fucking irritating me.
But again, remember, this is all about I do find it impressive. There's a difference between finding something impressive and striving to do it yourself, being like, ooh, that's what I want to do.
Yeah. People watch these videos to live vicariously through others.
I like watching a chef make a really nice layout and everything, Jack. But if I have an option of what I'm going to do, I'm probably just going to make ramen or pizza rolls.
Right?
Wrote in 1899, again, he could have written it yesterday. Application to productive labor is a mark of poverty and subjection. It becomes inconsistent with a reputable standing in the community.
You're literally talking about them doing labor, though, dumbass. Aren't you guys the ones that talk to us all the time about the unpaid labor of the housewife?
Yes.
But suddenly it's labor because she doesn't have to get a job. So she's showing off that she gets housework, but it's only the glamorous housework of cooking.
Yeah, from scratch? What?
This guy's a retard, man.
Yeah.
Because these videos are not instructional. They are maybe inspirational, but they are always performative.
So? That's the point of them, is to be like, hey, check this out. I could do this. It's not that this is for content. It's not supposed to be an instructional video. You won't watch a TikTok for an instructional video.
This is not real labor. This is symbolic labor. It is nothing more than social signaling that this woman and her family belong to the leisure class. And it is also how she builds and signals her value if you are the sort of person who operates within an exchange economy that assigns high and low value to human beings.
I forget this chick's name. I was reading about her yesterday when the whole trad wife fight thing came to my attention. I'd seen, bits and pieces of it, but her name specifically, I just don't remember it.
That's probably there on the screen. That's her TikTok handle.
People really hate her. No, her real name is out there though. People really hate her, and some people are claiming it's because she's a mixed race woman who married a white guy, and it's just that they don't like her because she's black. I don't know that there's any truth to that. What I see is just people whining about what women should strive to be. It's the same old stupid nonsense.
Yeah.
Because this came to my attention because I saw a woman say that this chick and two others that she named, she said she likes their content because she's tired of seeing basically frumpy women being moms seem like the worst thing ever. And these women make it look like something you might want to strive for. And the truth is probably in the middle somewhere.
Yeah.
But yeah, for some reason, she is getting a ton of hate.
Because her value to her husband is not in her ability to care for the home or care for the children, right? Anyone who is able to engage in this level.
Well, then what is her value to him?
Her ability to make cookies.
Look, she doesn't clean the toilet. She doesn't actually take care of the kids, and that's not what he even wants her for. What are you suggesting he's only got her to bang her?
No,
'Cause
he's only got her for her cereal making skills.
You could get a cheap hoe for that.
Yeah.
Level of conspicuous leisure has somebody that they are paying to do all of those things. No, her value is instead in her ability to perform the role of trophy wife and to be.
If she was a trophy wife, she wouldn't be doing any work.
None.
That's literally what a trophy wife does. Nothing.
A trophy
bang you
wife's
occasionally.
only job is to look pretty on your arm.
Yeah.
Anything else is gravy.
The ultimate realization and personification of her husband's socioeconomic prowess. Because tradwives are conspicuous consumers, yes, but it is the audience's consumption of tradwives that truly makes them valuable to their husbands.
No, they contribute something to the family.
Wait a
And in
minute.
that case, their traditional values, their traditional way of thinking. This guy's a retard.
You think their value to their husbands is that other women online these men will never meet and don't give a shit about are watching her TikTok. This guy who's so rich, he's got a wife that doesn't have to do anything. By your own standard, she doesn't even have to take care of the kids. But he married her because, like, oh man, she's gonna be so famous on TikTok.
We're gonna get so much internet clout. No, that's stupid. Trophy wives don't have to do any of this. They're not gonna have TikToks. They might have an Instagram where they show off their yacht or something, but this guy's an idiot.
But the trophy wife only works in an immediate capacity. You take her to the party and show her off on your arm. Everybody like, look at that hot chick he's with. Who knows who this woman's husband is?
Nobody.
By the way, his name is out there. He's like some gay dude, honestly. But I mean, it's not like he's some massive dude who she got famous because she married him, right? It's not like Grimes with Elon Musk, where nobody's heard about this dirty skank until Elon starts banging her.
Amber Heard.
Yeah. Trophy wives are a real thing. But yeah, there's this push right now to just bash the trad wife. You guys aren't really like that. Okay, let's say nobody's really like that, Jack. Would you tell a kid who's a fan of LeBron James, like, hey, stop bouncing that basketball. You're never going to be as good as he is. Is it wrong to have a goal, even if you can't meet it, to get as close to that as you can? Because that's the whole argument here is, hey, don't even try to be like this.
I think he's trying to say, don't have fantasies, don't have dreams. Just go out and work and be the number that the Social Security Administration assigned to you, because you mean nothing beyond that. You can never achieve anything. You fucking cog.
It's amazing to me the arguments that are being made over this, because it's the person who posted this video actually says that it's classism, white supremacy, and patriarchy.
These people are fucking retards.
The post reads, everyone who idealizes these rich stay-at-home moms, watch this, learn, and then shut the fuck up. Trad wives glamorize a lifestyle none of you will likely ever be able to achieve, and laugh in your faces as your views make them richer. This isn't goals. This is classism, white supremacy, and patriarchy. By the way, the girl in the video is half black.
These people are sad, lonely losers who can't find joy in anything. They have to destroy anything that anybody finds joy in.
Is it me, or is it kind of ironic that a communist here is like, that bitch is just thinks she should be out working like everyone else?
Fucking idiots.
I mean, when these people make their communes and stuff, don't they always turn to like natural foods?
Yeah.
We're gonna grow our own garden in Seattle on top of
cardboard. That's the thing, though. These clowns do not understand what work actually entails. They're very privileged people, and they're ashamed of that because almost every time we see them, they're upper class trust fund kids. They're not people that work for a living. Hassan, they're just parasites off their parents.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, some of them might get lucky and be like Piker and get a fair amount of money coming in, but most of them are shiftless layabouts, and they're critiquing everybody else that does work for a living. If two people decide that, hey, you go out and work for the bills, I'll stay home and take care of the home, what business of that is yours? Go fuck yourself.
Why are you so against the idea of a stay-at-home mom? What about that helps you at all? And Ebony asks, so there's no Black, Hispanic, or Asian housewives? No, especially in the Asian community, they are all workers. They're
Sure.
great at nails.
Yeah.
This is honestly just more of trying to destroy the traditional family. Because if you start putting it in women's heads that, hey, you should stay home and take care of the kids while he goes and works, that just brings us back to the nuclear family, Jack.
Oh, we can't have that.
No. Communism decided that was a bad thing, and they were right for their ideology. It's a horrible thing for them.
Yeah, they need everybody out working. Real quick, thank you, Keldrick. I'd like to amend my previous statement. He's mad that his mom still doesn't cut the crust off his sandwiches as an adult. Yeah, that's probably true, sadly. But I like how he's so confident in his assessment, even though he's completely fucking wrong about what the leisure class is. If anything, he strikes me as being of the leisure class because he took the time to critique a trad wife TikTok. Weirdo.
Yeah, the whole purpose of the leisure class is they don't have to do anything. And he's like, this leisure bitch is making her own cereal. Can you believe it?
Can you believe that she's doing manual labor when she could just go to the store and buy it?
It's not real manual labor. It's not like cleaning a toilet.
It probably involves a lot more work. I don't know. Maybe I cleaned the toilet wrong. My
favorite was a particularly tough stain out of his clothes. How much you want to bet most of the stains in his clothes are an off-white color? That one was really hard to get out. All right. Andy No got kicked off of Twitter today for a little while.
Yeah, I saw that. Chelsea Clinton complained about him, or her organization did anyway.
Yeah, because Chelsea Clinton posted. Do I have the post? I know you would. Did I retweet it? I want to bring up Chelsea's. Nah, I was fucking around on Google. Damn it. I read it. I meant to save it. Oh, I did have it saved. That's one of the ones that closed when I accidentally closed the window, Jack. Yeah. So see, I had thought ahead. But Andy No, he got kicked off because Chelsea Clinton came out. 180 trans people died in America last year. Or were murdered in like the last 5 years or some shit like that. I really do need to find you. How
many of them were school shooters?
Not that one. I swear I got that from you.
Yeah, maybe. I don't know.
I can't find it anywhere. But all Andy did was point out that most trans crime comes from black people. Now, he wasn't doing that because he's like, oh, fucking black people. Chelsea Clinton made a remark of most of the trans people that have been murdered were black. He's like, yeah, most of them were murdered by black men.
Yeah.
Bullwinkle, thank you. Mr. Jack, he read that 1899 book that no one else has read since 1900.
Well, I mean, yeah. It's one of those commie books that, like Conquest of Bread, that every now and then some asshole brings up. I don't remember why I was reading it, but I read it back in college, at least part of it. I don't think I finished it because it's fucking stupid. But it's one of those books that people reference, but they've never actually read, because if they read it, they'd realize it's highly outdated, just like Conquest of Bread. We don't live in that society anymore because that's the Victorian era and it's long gone, okay? Especially here in the States where you have upward social mobility. You don't have a rigid class structure like they did in 1800s England. So suck it up, bitch. But yeah, you can find it on Amazon for like $6.
Snubber, thank you. 180 bullshit. I don't even think that many died last year. Yeah, I want to say it was over a period of time because I think last year was 87. I remember when they released the number and they're like, this many people died. And the last number we would have would actually be from 2022, not 2023. Those haven't been released yet, last I knew. But even with that, as we talked about the other day, most of these things are domestic violence things or people you know. And it's the same with all of them. Most of the white transgender people were killed by white. The one instance of a Native American who was killed by another Native American because you're more likely to be killed by your own group or those you live around, Jack. Because somebody 600 miles away has a hard time killing you.
Hate fact?
Yeah. The person most likely to murder you is somebody you know. That doesn't mean start, like, hey, I'm not going to hang out with anybody. But statistically speaking, that's just how it happens. But Andy No pointing that out got him kicked off of Twitter for a little while for trans violence. How dare you point out the reality of who's killing trans people?
Yeah, they don't like that. They don't like when the truth comes out.
And he didn't even mention that most of the time it was domestic partners who did it. So
no, why would he want to do that?
Republicans call for immigration crackdown after a college student's death, Jack.
Oh, no.
This is a ongoing narrative the left is pushing because the right is out there pointing out a whole bunch of times that illegals are doing horrible shit. And there's I don't know if I want to get into the whole post of one that I argued with today, but in this instance, I just pointing this out, like the college student's death of what? Well, the college student was murdered, Jack.
What?
She went for a jog, and when she didn't come back in a relatively normal amount of time, her roommate was like, could somebody go check on this bitch? Because she ain't back yet. And they found her dead on a trail, having been bludgeoned to death in what the police chief called an attack of opportunity. This guy didn't know her. He accosted her and beat her to death for no apparent reason.
No, clearly she was a right-wing extremist that beat herself to death to frame a sainted illegal alien from Venezuela.
And at this point, we don't know, whether she was like
interfered with.
Yeah, we don't know it. But see how they phrase that after her death.
Hey, he was just an Athens resident.
Do you remember the headlines for the the non-binary girl who started a fight at school, got beat up, and then died the next day of reasons we still don't know?
She was murdered, I tells you.
She was targeted for bullying.
Bullies targeted her, even though she was the bully in that situation.
Mm-hmm. So, yeah. Murdered by an illegal that was arrested before and released by New York. Yeah, and we're having more and more of these. And the truth is, this never stopped. We've talked many times about what saved Trump's first his first election campaign, and it was the Steinle murder.
Yeah.
They had written him, look, he's a racist. He said they're not sending their best. He called them rapists and murderers. Woman killed by an illegal, been kicked out 6 times. Fuck! This stuff hasn't stopped. It's been going on. And
it's just getting worse.
The one, I guess, discussion, because it wasn't really a discussion. I responded and the person hasn't responded back. They were trying to make the argument that, Hey, look, they don't do that many crimes, okay? Let's grant them that, Jack. Let's just grant, okay, they don't do that many crimes. Would this girl be dead if he wasn't in the country?
Nope.
Calling it an attack of opportunity, if you think about that wording and what actually happened here with an illegal who shouldn't have fucking been here, is probably the most appropriate, horrifying phrasing ever.
Yeah.
He would not have had the opportunity to do this if he wasn't in the fucking country. And if we have plenty of homegrown criminals, we don't need to be importing them. Killing a white woman is not a job Americans won't do. Who's going to kill your white women? It's no. This is fucking disgusting. And there's a concerted push on this right now. Pay attention to it, guys. How dare you point out that these illegals are committing crime? They barely commit any crimes. Well, that brings that dead girl back, doesn't it? She's not dead anymore, Jack, because they barely do anything.
Yeah, just look the other way, comrade. Nothing to see here. Just a sainted illegal being harassed by the man, probably framed.
Now, this one's a little deeper, and I don't really want to get into it on a show where this would be one we have to do like as a top of the show. But there was that police officer found dead at a party he was at, and there's disagreement on who killed him. I believe it's his wife is under investigation for it right now because her and her friend found him dead in the snow at the party. Other people are saying no, he was killed at the party and it was staged so that she would find him and it would look like she did it. I honest to God don't know. But it was weird. This reporter who's covering it, this chick whose case got thrown out later in the day, she got a restraining order against him. That restraining order has been thrown out later in the day. She used that today to go to court to keep him from being able to be in the court to report on the hearing.
Wow.
She showed up when she's never gone to one of these before, just to wave around her restraining order, which if I remember restraining orders correctly, you can't use that to keep somebody out like this. That judge should have kicked this bitch out of his courtroom.
Yeah.
You can't be like, I know he's going there, so I'm going to go ruin his day. It's to keep him from following you around. If he's at McDonald's and you show up, he doesn't have, fuck, now I got to leave. In fact, at that point, isn't it your responsibility to leave?
Yeah, you have an obligation to not insert yourself where he's at.
Yeah. All right, Jack. The New York Post tells me women are loving what they're calling baby girl men.
What, pedophiles?
No, these are guys who seem like women. I'm sorry, they're emotional and they seem in touch with their feminine side, is what the article
girly
actually
men.
says.
They're sissies.
They're sissies, and that's Pedro Pascal way over there on the right. This dude on the left in the grandma sweater, I don't know who he is, but he just hosted Saturday Night Live. I don't know why he's wearing a grandma sweater either. Stop trying to make men into women, please. Please.
Yeah.
I'm begging you, please. Because we're not. Look, people in Hollywood have always been weird, and we've just kind of like, whatever. Stop trying to pretend that what women really want is to date other women. He's a woman with a penis. No, he's not. He's gay and doesn't realize it yet. Or he's hiding it for his, like they used to do in Hollywood.
Yeah, or they're rapist.
I mean, we were talking about Hollywood, so probably.
Yeah. Well, Hollywood's more pedos.
Oh, no, they have all kinds of sexual degenerates, Jack.
That's true.
Yeah. Yeah, this is another push. I mean, we saw it with Harry Styles. Remember when that idiot wore a dress and everybody like, look how manly he looked in a dress. He's showing masculinity can be anything.
I just assumed he was gay.
It's another one of those where he is gay and he just doesn't know it yet. Hey, he's dated women, Jack.
Oh, okay. He's had beards before.
Hollywood is infamous for that. Going all the way back to the beginning of Hollywood, a lot of those stars were gay and nobody knew it because they were always with women. Except for when they were sucking a dick.
Yeah. Rock Hudson notoriously trolled for young men on street corners because he knew that the press would ignore him.
Yeah. But yeah, this article's titled "Women Are Loving Men Who Embrace Baby Girl Vibe and Ditch Toxic Masculinity." Da, 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 da.
Ladies, do you really want to date somebody that gives off baby girl vibe? Because that's creepy as shit. What a horrible phraseology.
A man who is baby girl comes across as sweet, charming, a bit bashful, and seemingly in touch with their feminine side, ready to talk about their feelings or carry a purse to brunch at any point. If he's carrying a purse to brunch, he's not a man. I'm sorry. He's a bitch. That's a chick.
Yeah. Or Ethan Ralph. He's about to get robbed.
Traditionally highlighting feminine qualities in men has been a put down, but this doesn't seem to be the case with baby girl, which almost has a celebratory quality. Kama Bojwani, a Columbia University educated sexpert, told the Post.
Yeah, brother.
For one, Gen Z is more fluid when it comes to gender and sexuality than older generation. Yeah, because you guys have been lying to them.
Yeah.
Encouraging rather than condemning, blurring the lines around the previously restricted boxes separating masculine and feminine. They're still masculine and feminine. What you're talking about is whether or not guys are dressing like chicks.
So they can get laid.
Yeah, you literally called it feminine. Being more feminine, getting in touch with their feminine side.
What is a woman?
That's not rejecting the differences between masculine and feminine. It's rejecting acting masculine. It's such a fucking weird thing that they're trying to do. Remember, guys, control the language. No, they're rejecting it. No, they're still embracing the notion of it because it is a binary concept, you fucking retards. Thank you, Keldrig. This is just a rebranding of male feminist. It's even worse than that, because even during the height of the male feminist, they still tried to pretend they were manly.
Yeah, this is more metrosexual.
This is man bitch. This is just being a man bitch. I'm a woman, but the WO is silent. How long till we hear them say that?
5
Seriously.
minutes.
Don't care about that. I mean, I do kind of care. Fanny Willis has been caught with, more shit she shouldn't be doing.
Shocker.
A member of her office is an actual member of the Democratic Party. Not just she's a Democrat, but she's a member of the party. She worked for the party when she gets hired to work in the office.
Wow.
And while they say you can have other jobs, you can't have one that shows a conflict of interest or a bias or a potential bias. And
yeah,
having a member of the DNC working for you, it's not exactly, it's the DGC because it's there in Georgia. But yeah, that shows a clear bias.
A little bit. Also, it came out that her boyfriend, Nathan Wade, is that his name?
Yeah.
That he apparently had some final say on her transition team after she got elected to the office. So he was picking who was going to go from her campaign team to her office team. And nobody knew who he was. They're like, who is this guy? He doesn't work here. He's not even authorized to be here. And he's making decisions about hiring and firing.
Well, we also found out today that his divorce lawyer has to testify.
I saw that.
The judge in the case talked to the guy. I forget his name, and I can't find the story right off. I was looking for it, but whatever. The judge in the case was asked, hey, we need to talk to this guy. Can we talk to him? And he had a private meeting with him. And Nathan Wade is claiming, hey, anything said to this guy is privileged because he's our lawyer, or he was my lawyer. But he wasn't his lawyer the whole time they've known each other.
Oops.
And he's being called to testify about what he knows about their relationship and specifically when it started. Because these two idiots might have perjured themselves.
Multiple times.
And the fact that he's being brought in, Terry Bradley, is that his name? Thank you. That he's being brought in and made to testify tells me that the judge heard something in there that he thinks is relevant to this case.
Right.
And so, yeah, he's been told he's got to testify. It can happen as early as, this is technically Tuesday now, as early as today. But we don't know when he'll be on the stand. Jack, we got to jump back in time for a minute. I missed this. I missed it when it happened. But this is from the election there in South Carolina the other day. Polling concerns. Voters at Satchel Ford Elementary School in Columbia, South Carolina are telling me they're concerned about their vote after poll workers told them the internet is down and they weren't able to scan their ballots.
Yeah, I saw this.
Now, they got the ballot machines back up and working not long after. They weren't down for very long, but I don't know if you remember the 2020 election.
Are we allowed to remember the 2020 election?
There's a big question mark here. Why would the internet being down have any effect on the voting machines?
The machines that aren't supposed to be connected to the internet?
The machines, thank you. These machines, we were told that they are not connected to the internet.
Shut up, bigot.
How is it possible that they didn't work anymore when the internet went down?
Shut up, bigot.
And that they were told specifically that the internet was down. It would be one thing to be like, yeah, this is the voting machine isn't working. The only way to fix it is an online manual and we can't get there. That's not what they were told. She actually has an interview with one of the guys that they were talking to. And that's what he said. Yeah, they told us the internet was down. And her and the guy are both like, we have internet here. That doesn't necessarily matter because it would depend on what system they were using.
Mm-hmm.
What does matter there is these machines aren't supposed to be hooked up to the internet.
You're not supposed to notice this.
If they connect to each other through the Wi-Fi, that doesn't mean they're on internet. True. But Wi-Fi to connect to each other, like a machine, let's say it's South Carolina, so Columbia and Charleston. There's no Wi-Fi strong enough that they could be on the same system. Wi-Fi requires you to be close to the router. I mean, you could have an internal system like that, but it would need to be very close. But yeah, this should not be on the internet at all, and I don't see anybody out there really talking about it.
Yeah, because it's probably getting covered up.
Fun fact, paper ballots cannot be connected to the internet. Now, in that sense, what the guy said, I really don't have a problem with after that. They said that they were told to fold their ballot and to put it in another box. At least that you can still check. So there's something there, assuming they didn't throw it out.
They'll leave some of them out.
It is concerning that it's connected to the internet, and not being connected to the internet caused an issue. Oh, everything should be hardline only, period. I agree. And actually, everything should be paper. It's not that hard to count.
Yeah, thumbprint. Paper ballot, you get a red stamp, put your thumbprint on it so they can trace back to you and it's not somebody else's. It's like we made them do in Afghanistan.
Yeah. Oh my God, I can't show you this one, Jack, but there was a woman the other day freaking out because her husband went to a conference and he came back and he tested positive for the coof.
I saw that. It's so dumb.
She blocked me probably because I said she belongs in an asylum. But I feel so bad for her husband and her kids. She's really worried that her baby's going to get it. My baby's going to get it. Probably not. Babies are the safest people when it comes to COVID. But she's talking about, even if he hadn't have come back with the COVID, Jack, they had a plan where he would only be around them masked. But you see, they went outside together one time and they didn't have masks on.
No.
And so she's really worried. And she hasn't tested positive yet, but she keeps testing.
God, you need help, lady.
Yeah. Have you seen Dr. Phil talking about COVID?
Yeah, I saw his interview with Jesse Kelly today. I actually watched that live.
I
Um,
can't I can't see Jesse Kelly, so he's fallen out of my mind because he's a thin-skinned prick.
Yeah, he's kind of a bitch.
He was on Rogan the other day talking about it, and then I think the video from today was from The View,
Yeah,
and he's talking about how kids were impacted by this. And our old friend Brian Krasenstein, something to say about this.
of course he did.
Such a douchebag. Let's pull this up on the screen there.
Dr. Phil actually defended his position on Jesse Kelly's show, and kind of with Dr. Phil because kids are all going to be so far behind.
Well, Dr. Phil, one, has been on this kick going all the way back to April of 2020.
Mm-hmm.
He was called out for being a horrible bastard back in 2020. In April, this is when it's first hitting the United States, Jack.
Yeah.
But in this, he's talking about, how children have suffered from this. And Krasenstein says, is it wrong for me to say that I agree with Dr. Phil here? No, because that's become the overall narrative, and that's what you do. Whatever's popular is what you say because you're a bitch. Whose children were sired by his brother. With that said, hindsight is 2020. We didn't know how the virus would impact kids at the time. It turned out that the impact to children was far less than the impact to adults, and especially elderly adults.
We were talking about this at the time.
We knew before it left China that this wasn't affecting children.
Yeah.
We knew all along that this wasn't affecting children, and they kept telling the lie. Remember when Donald Trump came out and said, hey, it doesn't look like it's affecting kids? They were like, yes, it is. How dare this motherfucker lie about that?
Yeah. When Whoopi Goldberg tried to call out Dr. Phil, look at all the kids that died. You mean all the kids with autoimmune diseases that died of those?
Last I knew, the number of kids who died was less than 500, and they were all, they had other issues.
Yeah, they're all sickly.
More kids died overall and yearly from just regular old flu.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I'm reminded of the perfectly healthy teacher that died of the coof, and you see her picture. She was like 400 pounds.
Well, it depended on which picture, because they had the one that was just her face. Remember, they clipped it out. They catfished the shit out of that, and then somebody released the full picture, and it was like a shot from a blimp so they could get her all in.
Yeah, and I was worried that, she had possession of Chewbacca and Han Solo.
You had that girl who's like, my dad was a Trump supporter. He went to a thing. He was perfectly healthy, and then he got the coof there and died because he listened to Donald Trump. He perfectly healthy. And the motherfucker was overweight as shit.
Yeah.
If he wasn't diabetic, he was pre-diabetic.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. This trying to rewrite history. Look, there are things that I will give you we didn't know at the time. We've had this discussion. How it affected kids is not one of them.
Yep.
We've known this all along. Back when they were pushing, hey, we got to get jabs into 6-month-olds. We were saying, bullshit. There's no good reason for this. There's no good reason for anybody without at least 3 or 4 comorbidities to consider getting the shot. Unless you're in your 70s.
Yeah.
Your chance of dying from it is less than your chance of dying from just the regular old flu if you're like in your 30s. Nobody was dying from this if you were actually healthy. When that number came out, 9,000 people died of COVID. And everybody says, see, it was only 9. No, more people did die of COVID because COVID, the 9,000 was only COVID, was the only thing they can find wrong. And even in those, I bet if we looked at them, they were at least overweight. but
yeah,
they didn't
overweight
have,
or had some pre-existing condition that had gone undiagnosed.
or they were 90,
Yeah,
right? We know it was going after old people.
that have, whatever. Got in a motorcycle accident.
Yeah, got in a motorcycle accident. Or remember the chick from Illinois? Look, if somebody's been given 2 weeks to live because of their cancer, and then they get COVID and die, we can't say it wasn't because of the COVID. That bitch said that out loud.
Yeah.
And people are like, yeah, that makes sense to me. It's because you're a retard. Takes 18 months for a newborn to fully develop their immune system. Perhaps, but their immune system isn't worried about COVID because it's not hurting them at all. It's just not. Statistically, it's not. The hundreds of thousands of people who died in the United States, the number of children is less than 1% of 1%.
Yeah, you should be more worried about whooping cough
Mm-hmm.
than the coof.
You want to worry about kids? Worry about RSV, pneumonia, influenza. There's
Measles.
tons of things that you should worry about.
Yeah.
But yeah, the whole COVID thing just has not affected kids, and we've known this all along. It was a lie. It was a flat out lie that this affected kids. And yeah, it's nonsense. We just didn't know at the time. Yeah, we did. Yeah, we did. We can look back and go, look, Trump's advocacy of the jab. He's trying to stop this horrible thing that's going on. He didn't know all the effects. That's a good thing to say. You can make the argument that he should have known, or that we should have waited, or we shouldn't have pushed. And that's all. Those are all fine arguments. But nobody can say that he knew. We absolutely knew with kids. There's no bullshitting about that. I just can't believe how many of these people are now lying about that because they were so wrong on it. I'm fairly certain if you go back to say, let's just say May of 2020, we were saying it doesn't affect kids. I know we did many stories going over how it affects kids.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
I specifically remember when Donald Trump got called, he's a liar about this. They closed down schools. Even when they closed down schools, if you look at the rhetoric they used, children were always secondary. They were like, but a kid could get me sick and that could kill my grandma, or they could go kill their grandma. It was never about the kids. Hey, I just, fuck them. Some people are saying about the guy who set himself on fire, rest in power. And there's some black influencers getting mad about that.
Yeah.
Like, how dare you appropriate that?
Wasn't it first used with a Latino?
Filipino, actually.
Oh, Filipino.
Yeah, it was used for a Filipino activist is the earliest anyone can find it, last I knew. And it was used back in 2000. But since black people appropriated it, you're not allowed to appropriate it from them.
That's interesting. Wait, are you saying that black people steal?
Only influencers.
Oh.
Yeah, rest in powers for black people. Black people have asked time and time again not to use this outside of the community, and every single time you do.
Yeah, it's like dreadlocks.
Sweetheart, it's stolen. It's stolen.
Nobody cares.
Okay, so this one is actually a lot more concerning and something that I really wish we didn't have to pay attention to. Emmanuel Macron over there in France. There was a NATO meeting going on, Jack.
Mm-hmm.
And you can look up the news stories, guys. This is just the tweet I saw it from. You can look it up. This is confirmed. He says we'll do whatever it takes to ensure that Russia cannot win this war. And in that, he specifically included at some point possibly having NATO boots on the ground.
Yep. See Putin's statement on that?
Did he say I told you so?
No, he said if that happens, it'll be a nuclear war.
this is not our fight. And understand that when NATO says, and a NATO country goes, we're going to have NATO boots on the ground, they mean American soldiers.
Yeah, they always mean American soldiers because they don't contribute jack shit to NATO. It'd be us and like 10 guys from like Eritrea that volunteered. They're like, yeah, well, something to do.
Did you watch Putin on Tucker?
Yes.
Putin on Tucker brought up that part of the reason for this was the buffer zone between NATO and him.
Yep.
For all of the people who are like, he wants to go get Poland. That's a weird thing to say about wanting a buffer zone between him and Poland. I mean, his latest things, the last we knew, all he's talking about is letting the Donbass region become autonomous. Now, granted, they would be basically run by the Russians, but that still leaves the buffer of the rest of Ukraine between them and NATO.
Yeah, but if we try and get NATO, Ukraine into NATO, or we get NATO troops on the ground, it's going to escalate this quite a bit, and it's not going to end well.
Now, some retard said, let me. Anyone who has studied European history can understand why NATO countries are preparing for war. The writing is on the wall.
Hate to see that they weren't preparing for war.
Historically, who should be more concerned here? Russia or NATO allies? Because if memory serves, the biggest incursions we talk about, they're not heading west, they're heading east. You're talking Poland, you're talking Germany in 42. We're not talking about Russia trying to take over all of Europe. I mean, maybe if you go back further.
Well,
but even
mainly
then,
after World War II, they annexed land that they were separating the spoils, so they got the Iron Curtain countries. That was part of the peace negotiations.
Yeah.
So they didn't even conquer those per se. They were more kind of like, well, you already have troops there.
So yeah, exactly. Foreign NATO needs to chat with Adolf and Napoleon. Yeah. Russia has, look, I'm not supporting Putin here, but to suggest they don't have a reason to be concerned is just ignorant of history.
Mm-hmm.
The Europeans have a bad habit of trying to go into fucking Russia. And we're not just talking about Ukraine and the areas after World War II, Jack, where you have the Iron Curtain and the Soviet bloc.
Yeah.
Go before that. The expansion's always into Russia. The expansion's into Moscow. They weren't just going to Kiev. It's not like the big stand for the Russians was at Kiev.
Yeah. Oh, we're also forgetting the Mongols, by the way.
Oh, yeah, the Mongol. Yep. So, yeah. This is assuming the current Russia is the aggressor. History is amazing. Even giving that they're the aggressor in this situation, it's all the aggression has been happening since 2014. And actually it starts just before that with the separatists. It all comes out of we're not supposed to say this out loud because it's a conspiracy theory, Jack.
Oh no.
But it comes from the CIA doing what they do and changing the leadership of Ukraine from pro-Russian to pro-American. It's just what happened. We don't know that it was the CIA, Jack. We won't know that for 75 years because that should be hidden.
It's the CIA. Come on.
We know. Yeah, no. The Ukrainians just all on a dime were like, you know what? We hate the Russians. Let's be Americans now. There was nothing to do with American spy bases being there.
Nothing at all.
Not supposed to mention those either, although they've been confirmed now. Remember when that was a conspiracy theory?
Yeah, but give it a year. It's not a theory anymore.
They invaded Poland with the Nazis. They did. That is true. And at the time, they considered that to be part of their traditional lands. But we saw what happened when the Europeans turned on them. If I'm Russia, I want a wall. I'll be honest with you. I just want a fucking wall.
An iron curtain, if you will.
An iron curtain, if you will. Macron out there talking this rhetoric, man. These idiots are going to get us into World War III. They're going to bring up about a nuclear holocaust.
Yeah, they're dumb. I don't think Putin wants a big war like that. It's not good for his economy. It's certainly not good for ours. It's definitely not good for our troops.
Yeah. Yeah, we need to keep the boots off the ground. There's a scramble by the Czechs right now. They're trying to get South America to donate a whole bunch of bullets and ammo to the. I say bullets and ammo because they need both bullets and missiles.
Yeah, munitions.
There you go, munitions from South America. Apparently, they're going down and hitting up the drug lords. I guess.
Hey, so.
Could we borrow some of your stingers?
Well, yeah, it's pretty messed up because there are rumors going around that there's already NATO troops on the ground in there posing as mercenaries, which if that ends up being true, then we get a real problem. But I don't really give a fuck about Ukraine. Stop giving them money. Let Europe deal with it. They want this fight so bad they can fight with the Russians.
How about this? How about we let the Donbass region be an autonomous zone? And you guys can have your little UN peacekeepers come in and make sure that the election is valid and leave it at that.
No. The Democrats don't get extra money that way. Lindsey Graham can't jerk off to his war porn anymore.
It's just asinine. It really is.
Yep.
This is a border war between them. They still happen all over the globe. People acting like this is, oh my God, I can't believe all this war. It's none of my business. They're both shitbags. Yep. Zelensky's not a good person.
No, they're not a free democracy. No.
Did you see that video of him talking? I forget what station. I want to say it was NBC. But the dude is clearly high as fuck.
Yeah, he looked fucking blitzed.
He was out of his fucking gourd, man. I didn't retweet it, so I can't share that. But his facial expressions, his eye movements, god damn, he was high. And not the chill high like Tim Scott when he was at the debate. Where Tim's just like, yeah, man, everything's cool. He was like paranoid. That dude's on like something strong.
Well, he can afford the good stuff with all the money he's embezzled.
And that is absolutely true. He's getting the Hunter Biden Coke, man. Just saying. Okay, what we got here? Saying the most qualified person should get the job is a microaggression. Britain's top universities insist. Jesus Christ. How dare you say the most qualified person can get that?
No. Why do you hate black people? What?
If a company is all black and they need to hire somebody and 4 applicants show up, the best of the 3, clearly on paper, the best of the 3 are all black men. The worst of the 3 has no experience, spelled her own name wrong on her application, is a white woman who's not represented at all at the company. Should she get the job? No. You know, for representation?
Nope, that's not how this works.
For diversity?
Diversity means...
Oh, wait, okay, let's not use a white woman. A Chinese... No, we got to use a Hispanic woman. There we go.
Oh,
a Hispanic woman.
Maybe then, I don't know.
Do you have to tell those 3 black men who are qualified for the job? Nah, sorry, we don't have any Latino women here. We need one of them to pronounce Latinx for us because we can't decide on how to do it. It's a Latin X.
I think that issue is very complicated.
Oh, shit. I was moving on to your story. Don't let me forget to talk about Virginia.
Okay.
We got to talk about Winnie or whatever. What's her name?
Fanny?
No, Winnie. The the lieutenant governor there in Virginia today.
Oh yeah.
Saying the most qualified person is a microaggression. The universities say it ignores the idea that race plays a part in life's success. The move was called cowardly and slammed as part of the woke agenda. It is part of the woke agenda, and it's fucking retarded. Britain's top universities warn staff and students that just saying it, Jack, that the most qualified person should get the job is a microaggression. If I yell it real loud while beating somebody with a stick, is it a major aggression? A macroaggression at that point?
Maybe not.
Russell Group universities, including the University of Glasgow, have issued guidance and even provided training courses to educate people on how to eliminate microtransgressions. I can help you with that. Stop saying microtransgressions. They're made up bullshit. Yeah,
They're not transgressions, they're aggression.
Guidance from the Scottish University alongside the engineering department of... it bothers me every time I'm reminded that this shit is infected engineering.
Yeah.
When I'm reminded that this shit is infected STEM, it really, bad things are going to happen. I'm sorry about that. Engineering department of the Imperial College of London insisted that using the phrase was discriminatory. Okay, once again, we see what I was talking about earlier, Jack. Those darn Negroes are not as good as white people. It's discriminatory to say they can be.
Apparently.
I know Joe Biden said they're just as good as the white children, but he was wrong. They don't even hear it. They don't even hear it.
No, because they're stupid and brainwashed.
I just can't with this. This is fucking retarded. These are your top universities: London, England, Scotland.
They wonder why they have a soaring crime rate.
All those little lands over there. Good luck. I don't know what else to tell you. Microaggressions are bullshit. They're made up. Microaggression literally means nobody meant to me any harm, but I'm a puss. That's it.
Yeah. Somebody said something mildly offensive, and I got butthurt about it because I'm a baby.
No, because remember, microaggressions are not meant to be offensive. You don't even know that they're offensive. This isn't like, saying the N-word when you get mad. You know what I mean? This is like things like in this case, we should go based on the best applicant. Do you realize how that hurts people? There's nothing inherently offensive saying we should go with the most qualified candidate. There's literally no offense there. They have to take offense where none is. That's why I say microaggressions are bullshit, because they are. It's literally, there's nothing offensive here. Let me find something to be offended about.
You're a monster.
It's not even a little bit problematic. It's I made this shit up because my life is that fucking good that I have to sit around and imagine people hate me subconsciously.
Well, I mean, they do. How else can I get victim cred?
You subconsciously hate me. No, you I hate specifically. It's quite conscious. I don't hate your race. I hate you and feel sorry for black people that you're associated with them. Okay, speaking of microtransgressions, now we can't...
They're not transgressions. They're just aggressions.
They're transgressions, Jack.
They're microaggressions.
They're transgressions.
No, they're not. That sounds transactional. It says trans in there, and they can't do that.
Well, we have
transphobic
transgressions today in the Senate of Virginia. We can't show you the video because every video I've seen of it, the volume is ridiculously low. But the lieutenant governor is presiding over the Senate, as is their job.
Yes.
And hang on, Winsome, that's her name. That's why I called her Winnie. Winsome Sears is the lieutenant governor out there, and I really like Winsome. She's a spunky lady, but a trans senator, a trans woman senator, is asking her some questions about a bill that they're doing, and the specific questions about how many people are needed to pass whatever motion is before them. And Winnie calls them a sir.
Oopsie dupsie. Probably because they
At which
sound like a
point,
dude.
the woman with a dick gets mad and leaves. Just storms right the fuck out. And people are like, you need to apologize. And Winnie, to her credit, was like, fuck you. And there's a whole bunch of people mad that the lieutenant governor of Virginia called a biological man a sir. And I saw this because somebody on Twitter had said, refusing to use proper gendering is the most disrespectful thing you can do. And I was like, that is the sign of a privileged life. What if I shit in my hand and throw it at you? Would you consider that more disrespectful than me calling you a woman when you're a dude? And in fairness, she didn't misgender him. He is a he. He was born a he. You guys misusing the language doesn't change that. But yeah, she did not back down. In fact, she got up and about how she had been disrespected in that chamber and she wasn't going to put up with that shit. Jack, it's not uncommon for people to use the wrong sir or ma'am in these situations. It happens more often than you would think. Because the person who's presiding at the time, which often is not the president of the Senate or the Speaker of the House, they often have intermediates in there doing the job. Like, I'm busy, I have to go on MSNBC.
Yeah.
But it's not uncommon for them to say sir or ma'am in the wrong spot. But, of course, our little trans friend was like, I can't believe it's so disrespectful. Look, I agree you're a bitch, but you're still not a woman. And being a bitch and being a woman are not the same thing.
No, not at all. Women have a much thicker hide because they're like, yeah, whatever, you said the wrong thing. Who cares?
That particular senator is obnoxious as fuck. They are, and I don't remember their name, unfortunately. I'm sure it's in one of the stories about it, but they also have, let's call it, a checkered past.
What?
Yeah, we'll leave it at that. But yeah, how dare you science deniers call that man a man? Venezuelan migrant brags about living off taxpayers, urges followers to unite behind Times Square shooter. Venezuelan influencer Moreno urges his followers to show financial support to migrant teens charged against Times Square shooting. Is he actually in Venezuela?
I think he's in New York.
Okay. Venezuelan migrant, I don't care, posted video to his social media urging his 300,000 followers to unite and pay fines for the 15-year-old migrant who allegedly shot a tourist in Times Square. I invite you to find his mother and for all of us to unite to pay the fines so that young Venezuelans feel that he's not alone during difficult moments. Really? He's the one having a difficult moment, Jack. He shot somebody.
Yes, not the dead lady's family. Yep. He shot a few people, only one person died.
Remember that up there's a God who sees everything down here, he said. The entire nation is on top of him instead of helping him. Remember that young man is going to be released, and he will be released. Do you know why? Because he's underage. You don't know when God is going to put you in a situation like this, young man. What? Jack, he thinks God made this guy go shoot up a Shoot up Times Square.
That's apparently what God wanted.
You don't know when God's gonna. For those of you who are living in bumfuck Mississippi right now, God might call on you tomorrow to go shoot up these guys as you were a teenager.
That's what I got out of what he said. I mean, we're
Let's
all
unite.
called to action differently.
Let's unite so this child can be free and has opportunity. Yeah, fuck you, man. You're a piece of shit.
I'm telling you, these people don't give a shit about American citizens. They're not here to assimilate. They're here to plunder.
I confess that I don't like going to work because it gives me allergies. You work, I don't, but in the end, neither of us have money. They keep criticizing us because I live off taxes that you pay monthly. You're a douchebag, man.
Yep. Freeloader, parasite.
Oh, he lives near you. He's in Columbus.
Of course he is.
Yeah, fuck this guy. He's being entirely disrespectful to the victims there. And I'm sorry, I just don't buy the whole this could have been you argument. We're not talking about somebody who fell on hard times. This is somebody who went out and shot people. Okay. Hardcore singer accused of dosing bandmate with estrogen in attempt to steal his fiance. Fuck, there's a lot going on in that.
Yeah, I know, right?
All right. What is this? A small-time hardcore band has shot to viral fame. See, with something like that, Jack, I have to ask, is this real?
I don't know.
It's so easy these days to get attention just for being outrageous, right?
Truly, truly outrageous, like Gem and the holograms.
I don't talk about Jim because my friend Pat used to watch that show and I've made fun of him for it. So, and I feel bad.
Why? They're truly outrageous.
Because you're not supposed to make fun of, people. I don't know if you know this, but Pat's black and I'm supposed to treat him different than I would my other friends.
No, I think you should treat him different because he can kick your ass 5 times over. But beyond
that has never stopped me from being a smart ass to people.
I know it never should. No, I mean, if you watch Gem, I don't give a shit.
A small-time hardcore band is shot to viral fame over a bizarre gender-bending tale, one that involves a singer supposedly dosing his bandmate with estrogen in order to steal his fiancée. You told us that in the title. The band,
you're a slow learner.
The band Llorona. I don't know if you're supposed to how you're supposed to pronounce a double L at the beginning of a word. Donald Camp, thank you. Hi guys, this is for Little Butt and Awesome Backpacks. Thank you so very much for the feminist $12. Appreciate it.
Woo. Hi Donald.
The band. Oh, go ahead. I'm sorry.
I was just saying hi to Donald. Hi.
Alan, thank you so much for the donation. I can't see it, but I'm assuming he said morning monkey. Good morning, sir. Let me get over here to where I can read it so I can do that properly, Jack.
Oh, you'd like that, wouldn't you?
I would. Alan, thank you so much. He says morning monkey. Good morning, sir. I hope you're well. Anyway, they shared this story to their Instagram page, claiming the vocalist Diego attempted to force a transition on his supposed pal by giving him pre-workout drinks laced with the female hormone. The vocalist's goal, according to the post, was to make himself look more manly compared to his love rival, so Diego would swoop in. Fan post called it stupid caveman mindset that makes zero sense. Yeah, because no woman wants a manly man. We just learned they all want baby girls.
Apparently. This sounds like one of my aunt's telenovelas.
Eagles Don Henley regrets cocaine-fueled night with 16-year-old prostitute who suffered seizures.
That one almost made it in the queue, but it was not as exciting as estrogen.
Was this recent?
I don't think so.
That's that's a hell of a headline in itself.
I know.
Okay. We've decided to part ways with our vocalist Diego due to admission of a very so he admitted it. Disturbing and concerning behavior towards one of our band members and their partner. Neither the band nor the members of the band involved responded to a request for comment. Post gained major attention with millions of views and more than 100,000 likes. Although they that says 10,000 with the comma in the wrong spot.
Nice.
I'm not sure what they meant there. After a hardcore music account posted it on X, formerly Twitter, commenters were wrapped by the story, the details of which the post could not verify. You know how much you would have to dose that guy for him to become feminine enough that you would look masculine by comparison?
Right? A Viking said hardcore is normally really gay, so this checks out. Yeah, it sounds like scene kids, you know.
That's just weird.
Yeah. Probably was trying to turn him into a homosexual so they could make out with him. He wasn't gonna steal the girlfriend. That was just cover story. Real quickly though, thank you, Alan, for the donation. He says, "Good morning, my friend." Good morning, Alan. Hope you're doing well out there.
Oh wait, do we have a troll? MAGA men's are nerds, especially the leadership. Okay.
Okay.
You win.
You got us, I guess. You didn't even vote for Trump. How do you keep finding these people?
I have no idea. They're lonely. Their mom's banging somebody for macaroni money, so they got to find something to do with themselves. I don't know.
Yeah, well, that macaroni art doesn't make itself.
You're right. Jack, I was watching a reaction to the Borderlands 4 trailer, and it wasn't a react. It was kind of a response, a review of it. They didn't actually show it, so calling it a response or a reaction by today's standards isn't the same. But the guy who says he played Borderlands, he hasn't played any of the subsequent games. He's like, I understand why fans are worried about this. Like, first of all, Roland. The big thing everybody pushes to is Roland. But because of it, I watched it again, and now I don't think I can see the movie. Because it has Bobby Lee in it. You know who Bobby Lee is?
The comedian?
Yeah. Bobby Lee is a pedophile. Bobby Lee has told his own story about how he fucked a 14-year-old prostitute, took her virginity as she was crying. And he's not telling this story as part of one of his jokes. He's relaying a story that happened. And how this motherfucker has gotten away with that for so long is beyond me. But I truly hope one day he gets what he deserves for that story. And yeah, I don't know that I can watch that movie now, even as bad as it is. I was hoping to watch it and be like, oh, this movie's so bad I can at least enjoy it that way.
Yeah.
But yeah, this dude is a confessed pedophile. He's a confessed rapist. It's okay. He went down to Mexico to do it. So he committed several international crimes by his own telling. I don't know how this dickhead keeps getting all over the place.
Well, he's in Hollywood. There's a whole lot of pedos there.
Yeah. Anyway, never heard this? Look it up. Yeah, because I fucking hate that piece of shit. I wonder if I can find it. Bobby Lee Mexican story. In fact, if you type Bobby Lee Mexican into it, the first thing it says, Bobby Lee says prostitution stories not real. Yeah, go watch it and see if you think it's real. Dirty little shit. Anyway, Jack, we're gonna
Why
wrap.
would you make that story up?
We're gonna wrap up on Bobby Lee's a dirty fucking pedophile and he can go fuck himself. I hope he dies a horrible death.
Oh, okay.
He's bragging about raping a 14-year-old girl. Fuck that guy. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much for coming and hanging out with us tonight. Thank you for the donations. You guys are very kind to us, and we appreciate it more than we'll ever be able to express. I know we say that every night, and it might sound formulaic, but it's true every night.
Yep.
So please understand, even if it comes off robotic, and he just says that it's true. You guys are awesome, and we appreciate it.
Absolutely.
Bobby Lee's a comedian. He is, but go listen to that story and find the funny part of it for me. Jack, anything you want to show out tonight?
I'll drop a link to something or other. As always, thank you for the donations. You guys are awesome. And I hope you all have a lovely day. It's supposed to be really nice where I'm at. So let's hope for the best, huh?
I'm going to rename this Bobby Lee as a pedophile and see what happens.
I'll probably get taken down.
And people go on he's got a pretty decent sized podcast, Jack.
Mm-hmm.
And everybody goes to hang out. He's so great. He's a child rapist. He belongs in prison.
Well, maybe one of these days we should go over the video of him talking about it.
We should. We really should. Anyway, guys, for tonight, that's going to wrap it up. I'm hungry, Jack. I don't like hunger. I really hate this shit.
I think most people don't like hunger.
I'm not most people. I shouldn't have to suffer with it. This is a microaggression.
Oh, God. Yes, that's how this works.
This is a microaggression. It's above the transgressions.
Well,
Everybody,
you're not trans, so.
No, but my stomach is now. It's trans hungry.
Okay.
I'm too fat to be hungry, Jack. I got like 6 months at a concentration camp before I'm allowed to be hungry.
Wow.
Too far?
No, not for me, but probably some snowflake somewhere.
Everybody have a good night. We'll see y'all next time. Take care.
Bye, everybody.
This is the show that we did tonight. This is our obvious song.